You could have acceptable blood pressure and still be at high risk because one of these two numbers is far more dangerous than most people realize. Large cardiovascular studies following thousands of adults show this clearly. People aren't harmed by blood pressure they know is dangerous. They're harmed by the number they're told not to worry about. And in a moment, I'll tell you which number that is. Most people believe high blood pressure is simple. Two numbers, one reading. But what doctors discovered after tracking heart attacks and strokes over many years is this. One number predicts sudden events, while the other predicts slow, silent damage. And mixing them up can be deadly. This isn't theory. It's based on long-term research published in major cardiology journals, including studies that reshaped how doctors treat blood pressure today. Yet most people were never told how to apply this information to themselves. Quickly, here's the difference. The top number, systolic, measures pressure when the heart contracts. The bottom number, diastolic, measures pressure when the heart relaxes. Most guidelines emphasize the top number, but here's what no one explains clearly. As we age, our blood vessels change. And once that happens, the meaning of those numbers changes too. This is where outdated advice becomes dangerous, and why the same reading doesn't carry the same risk for everyone. If you're over 50, what I'm about to explain matters more than the reading itself. Because multiple long-term studies found that the wrong focus leads to strokes that seem to come out of nowhere. For most adults over 50, systolic pressure is the strongest predictor of heart attacks and strokes. Why? Because as arteries stiffen with age, the heart has to pump harder. That rising top number reflects arterial stiffness, which research has directly linked to cardiovascular events. Even when the bottom number looks normal, this is why many people feel fine right before something serious happens. But that doesn't mean the bottom number is harmless. In fact, large population studies found something surprising about diastolic pressure, especially when it stays elevated. When diastolic pressure remains high, the heart never fully rests. Research tracking long-term outcomes showed that elevated diastolic pressure is associated with reduced blood flow to the heart muscle, increased strain on the kidneys, and higher risk of damage that builds quietly over time. This kind of damage doesn't cause sudden symptoms, it accumulates. This is why two people with identical readings can have very different risks, and why focusing on just one number can create a false sense of safety. So which blood pressure number is more dangerous? According to long-term cardiovascular research, systolic pressure is the strongest warning sign for sudden, life-threatening events, especially after age 50. Diastolic pressure, when persistently high, signals silent damage that raises long-term risk. Ignoring either one is a mistake. The real danger isn't one number versus the other. It's assuming the same rule applies to everyone. When research shows risk changes with age, arteries, and pressure patterns, blood pressure doesn't usually give second chances. If you're watching only one number, you may be watching the wrong one. And by the time symptoms appear, the damage may already be done.